Evening, everybody. Graz here from the GKBC. Bringing you a minor reading update, and this is I'm also going to talk about Saga, the start of book 3. My buddy Read with Tad over at Tad Reads Books and Stuff. His channel will be below. We've been reading this since the beginning of the year, pretty much. Every other week, give or take, we do 6 issues or chapters in these big books. And we just started book 3. The first 6 chapters are issues 37 through 42. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. But first I'm going to do a little reading update type thing for the month of April, which, by the way, is going much better than the month of March. Since it's sitting here staring at me, I'll start with Dr. Aphra, graphic novel that the daughter bought me. I love it. I love Dr. Aphra. She's witty, she's cute, she's brave. She has really no morals, but then she really does. It's really great. I'm not going to talk in depth about any of these books in the wrap-up or the update. It's just, I think Aphra might be one of my new top favorite Star Wars characters, and I'm definitely going to want to read more of her stories. So, this is actually stories that happen after she works with Darth Vader. So, I almost called him Dark Vader. Just hand in my Star Wars card. Anyway, so I finished that. I also finished Deathbed and Breakfast by Bart J. Gilbertson, who is another fantastic booktuber. I'll link his channel below too. And I will also try to link, if I can remember, I'll link the Amazon link to his book. It's only 266 pages. It's a cozy little mystery. I really enjoyed it. I might actually do a full review on that. We'll see. I also finished Childhood's End by Arthur C. Clarke, my first ever Arthur C. Clarke book. Read that in one night. Really enjoyed it. Kind of wish there was more, but maybe it would have made it not so good. The Dead Husband by Carter Wilson. Well, moving on. Dhampir by Barb Hendy. Interesting take on the vampire mythos. The lead character is a Dhampir, which is basically one vampire parent, one human parent, all the strengths of a vampire, none of the weaknesses, sort of thing. War Comes to the Big Bend, I've read already, by Zane Grey, my Western. The Scoundrel Falls Hard by Sophie Jordan. That was the Bodice Ripper this month. The Naked Face by Sidney Sheldon. I really enjoyed that. It's my first Sidney Sheldon book. Sharp Teeth by Toby Barlow. It's my werewolf book of the month. Fabulous format. I really was into the format. The Murder of Roger Ackroyd by Agatha Christie. I love how she just has you in the palm of her hand until she wants to tell you who the bad guy is. I mean, I thought it was like 3 different people until it was revealed. So, very good. And then, as said in a previous video, I've also read Little Girl Lost by Richard Elias, The Woman in Black by Susan Hill, and 300 by Frank Miller. And then last night I also finished The Great Train Robbery by Michael Crichton. It's a 1975 book. And Gorillas by V.S. Naipaul, another 1975 book. So, that's what I've already finished this month. What I'm about to, and I'm actually at a point right now where I'm not actively in the middle of a book. I'm going to start some tonight. Tomorrow I'm going to start Carry On Comfort by Dan Simmons. And tonight I might start reading some of this Online Investing for Dummies, trying to learn more about like small cap and penny stocks, which are the same thing, I think. I'm going to learn a little bit about that. Anyway, I also tonight we'll start Fast Sam Cool Clyde and Stuff by Walter Dean Myers. And then maybe The Girl Who Owned a City by O.T. Nelson. That's my reading wrap-up, update, whatever. Now let's get into Saga, issues 37 through 42. And that's in this book, book 3. Now, previously we've seen Hazel, that's the baby here, on the cover, breastfeeding in book 1. And then in book 2, she's picking her nose. And now in book 3, she's showing off her tooth. Which, by the way, I really liked part in this, because universal almost, people know the tooth fairy. You lose a tooth, you put it under your pillow, the tooth fairy comes and gives you money. In this, they have the feather fairy. She loses a feather, you put it under the pillow, the feather fairy comes and gives you treasure. It was really adorable. So anyway, talking about this, Robot 4 is seen masturbating, and he's trying to figure out an image so that he can be done. And right at the end, he flashes on Alana's face, who he claims to hate. And he doesn't understand what's going on. So he's got it bad for Alana, so we think. But later we find out that it's basically just because of her being a good mother. So he's turned on by her motherhood. So he wants her to be mother to his son. So that, and he's actually going to blow his own head off, but somehow, because he's high on Fade Away, the drug, and somehow that doesn't happen, and he almost kills Marco and stuff, but Robot 4 is still with us. He's getting weird though. And I like how there's a point where Hazel and one of her new friends are watching him dream, Robot 4, and on his TV head, it shows kind of what he's dreaming about. It's really weird. Then Petrichor, the hermaphrodite, is weaving like little onesie deals for the babies. And her and Isabel have this conversation which shows a really good dynamic between the two. There's one really cool part where Petrichor says, "Oh yeah, like I'm not judged for being a hermaphrodite," or something like that. And Hazel, who's basically a ghost who doesn't have anything from the waist down, says, "Look, do I really look like I give a crap about what people got going on below the waist?" And Petrichor goes, "Right." So I kind of like that dynamic that they had. It was really neat. Then we flip to Gwendolyn and Sophie, who Sophie wants to be a bounty hunter / freelancer. And you find out that there's this comet, kind of a lawless thing where it's nothing but war and pestilence and killings and stuff, and towns getting blown up. It's called Fang with a PH. And you find out that Sophie actually came from Fang. Her family still lives there. So that's kind of interesting. So the main group, who are still in their tree rocket ship, land on Fang to refuel. And they meet these little, I don't know, groundhogs. I'm not sure what they are. But they want food and they want water. And Isabel comes out trying to scare them as taint zombies. Taint. I'm not going to explain what that is, so if you want to know, look it up. But it's just great. Taint zombies. We want your taints! I was like, wow, could this book, what's next? I mean, seriously, what's next? And then you find out that it's just Isabel trying to protect the crew. But the little groundhogs or whatever, they're not real dangerous. Even though Petrichor doesn't trust them, and she seems to think that they are dangerous. And Hazel becomes really good friends with one named Curti, and they actually like share a kiss, which I think they're kind of young for that, but hey, who knows? But that was kind of interesting. And then Robot 4 is going to go traverse this comet to an old outpost of his people's, which is supposedly abandoned now, to look for fuel. But Isabel says, well, no, man, let me go and check it out, because they can't hurt me, and, you know, that way you don't put yourself at risk. And he says, okay. So she goes and she checks it out. And she runs into a two-headed bounty hunter named The March. And I'm just going to say right now that I hate The March. And I will show you why. He actually has weapons that can trap ghosts and kill them. So what you're looking at is the demise of my favorite character in this whole saga. Pun intended. Isabel. She dies. And Hazel immediately feels it, because Isabel, you know, had bonded with her, heart bonded. So as soon as Isabel is gone, Hazel is like, Isabel's gone. What happened? No, she's dead. I can feel it. And I'm just kind of mad at that, because that's my favorite character. And I'm not real pleased. Anyway, we're going to move on from that a little bit. The Will is... he has tracked down Gwendolyn and Sophie, and he wants Lion Cat back. But Lion Cat doesn't want to leave Sophie, so the Will says, sure, bring... You come too, and, you know, I'll teach you. And Sophie says, no, my place is here. So the Will, you know, walks away from that. And the reason that he was trying to get Sophie and Lion Cat back is because he had just lost his license to be a freelancer. So he's trying to maybe work it out with his union that he can still be useful. Later on, you find out that somebody he killed meant something to another brand new character that we don't know who it is yet, who showed up. Looks like they killed Sweet Boy, the dog. And then they've got the Will incapacitated. And looks like they're going to torture him. So that looks like... I can't wait to see what happens there. Then we find out that the comet, Fang, is traveling towards one of these lovely deals, which they are called Time Sucks. I just called it Giant Space Baby. And apparently they eat everything around them. And the comet is heading right towards it, with our band of heroes still on it in their treehouse spaceship. So that's fun. And they got to try and refuel before they get there. And actually, before they even get closer, they'll never have a chance of getting out. Then we find out in another part that Gwendolyn, Marco's ex, who is now kind of training Sophie on things, is trying to make it so that all the civilians can be evacuated from Fang before it blows up, or before it gets sucked into this giant space baby. And then we find out that Gwendolyn also has a wife who's basically a unicorn person. Like Tad says, beautiful chaos in this book, because it's everywhere and nowhere, and it's crazy. You don't know what you're going to see from page to page. It's insane, but a good way. It's really awesome. It's probably it could be the best graphic novel experience. I'm not sure, but it's one of them for sure for me of all time. And then there's a scene where these two TV heads are saying, "Oh, we managed it. Nobody's going to get hurt, and you know the comet might not get exploded, might not get eaten and stuff." And then out of nowhere, there's these like space pirate guys that kill them and shoot them into the baby's mouth. And I just don't understand. It said they're under orders, but I don't understand that part at all. So Tad, if you did understand that and you watch me, please explain that part, because I think I'm missing something there. And I looked at it for a while, so So finally, the band of heroes is about to, or I guess they're refugees. I'm not sure who the good guys are in this. We're supposed, they're getting ready to blast off, and they want the family of groundhogs to come with them. And the matriarch of the groundhogs, the grandmother, says, "No, I believe in God. I believe in His will, and He has saved us from extinction before, and He saved us from destruction before, and I believe He will do so again. We're not leaving our home. This comet is our home. This soil is us." So Hazel's all sad because she never got to say bye to the little boy that she kissed, or little groundhog boy that she kissed. But they get on the spaceship and they're taking off, and I'm going to get back to that in a second. But after they take off, which like I said, I'm going to get back to, the comet does indeed go in, and you blip to the groundhog family all being like melted into the ground and stuff, and they're being eaten. And the last one is Hazel's friend Kurtie, who was like, "Somebody save me, somebody help me, I believe," and then he's gone. And that was kind of hard to read because, they should have just got on the ship. Their sacrifice meant nothing. It looked like just death for death. And speaking of death, while they were taken off, while the treehouse thing was taken off from this comet and just barely getting away, I think there's a jostling inside, and Alana falls and almost doesn't make it. And they find out, I mean, it's not definite yet, but based on what Hazel says, it looks like they I'm going to try and get through this without tearing up a little bit. The groundhogs smelled the baby and said it was a boy. Well, in the jostling of the spaceship, the boy dies. Unborn. Marco can't hear the heartbeat. He's sad and crying. Alana understands and starts crying. And then Hazel says, you know that old cliche about millions of deaths being a statistic, while the loss of just one life is a tragedy. If that's true, what is it when you lose something that never even had a chance to be born? And then it gives us like 4 or 5 pages of just black. What's that to?
1 minute, 45 seconds.
To what?
Till it's done.
We have a half hour.
I don't know. That's what it says.
Oh, well, great. So the reason that hit me so hard is because my first baby was stillborn back in 1995. And I know it's, 28 years ago, but it still hit pretty hard because, the way it was worded just really, really killed me. So I don't want to talk about that anymore. I honestly can't wait. I'm moving on. Can't wait to see what Tad has to say about this. It's a great way to start book 3. And I'm going to finish, because apparently I have to hurry, by saying on Disney Plus, soon, there will be a TV show about Dr. Teeth and Electric Mayhem, the Muppets. They're going to make an album or something. It looks really awesome. It's got lots of neat guest stars. And if you like the Muppets or rock and roll at all, you will love this. So check that out. If you like Saga, let me know. Let me know what you think of my review. And if you like Dr. Aphra, please tell me. I love her. So that's it for today. Bring back Isabel and read more.